Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of Analytics Are For the Nerds. I'm Louie G. This is Ryan Mura. I know Ellie is not here, but in her tradition, today is Natural Hydration Day, as she would probably tell us. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the
film festival. It's just a golf clap, right? They don't actually give you like a real clap. I feel like it's very, high society. They're not going to give you
Yeah, it's like a queef clap, like.
I'm never gonna get that image out of my head.
Like that Moana.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101, it's very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet, his white feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth.
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet. Long live Dolly Parton.
Hold on, I gotta look up how
Is
she
not
is.
you're looking? Wait, do you not know who Dolly Parton is?
No, I know who she is. I'm just trying to see what she looks like now.
She's still with us?
No, I want to see what she looks like now, because like 10 years ago I would have. Oh, I still would. 100% still would. Absolutely. How old is she? She's got to be like 80, right? Are you judging me? I can't see you because I'm looking at Google.
That ticker. Let me see.
you're
And
judging.
the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So, welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
I don't like it. Allie's not here to laugh as much at that part, so that's always a better. Rye, how you doing today, man?
I am great. I'm so excited for today to not only participate in this mock draft, but more importantly, learn what everyone else is going to be doing in these drafts coming on Saturday for us here in Buffalo. So I can't wait for tonight.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of analysts here ready to do a Scott Fishbowl mock draft with us. We will bring them in just a minute. We will. Some of them are going to be at our big Buffalo Live event this Saturday. We're going to be live at Fatty Beer. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, throughout the episode. I think like 4 or 5 of the people joining us here today are going to be at that event, so we will know some inside info coming out of here today. And then others will be drafting all over the country like most people are. So without kind of further ado here, let's bring in our drafters. We're going to be very, very much like the Brady Bunch here as I bring them in, and we'll introduce one by one, starting off with we'll start off with Stacy Perez. Stacy, how are you from Fantasy and Frames? How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me. I don't have my Scott Fishbowl draft for a while. I'm on July 12th, so I'm just like gathering information for when I get to draft.
That is that's quite a while away, or that's quite a while away. I didn't know they were going that far. So you'll have whatever ADP we can get from these things. You'll have a decent start at it. I don't know how much consensus there will be. Jeremy Popes from FTN. How are you, buddy? How you doing today?
That's pretty obvious from the hat. I was getting concerned you couldn't read. I'm swell. I'm all right. I'm getting ready for Saturday. It's like 90 degrees in Buffalo, so that doesn't work out well for us. Melting. But yeah, other than that, living the dream.
Yeah, it is. I do feel like that's a whole East Coast thing, and we might be just complaining about it a little too much, but it's pretty brutal here. Almost thought about going outside to record today, and that's not going to happen. From RotoWire, we have Steve Bulanda. Did I say that right? Last name?
Bulanda. So
Bulanda.
yeah, very, very close. Yeah.
How you doing today, Steve? Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, definitely. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed. I had told all my friends that I was drafting with Louie C.K., but it turned out to be a comedian, so I got my comedians mixed up. But it'll still be fun.
That's great. For Bushi Sports, we got Yvette. Yvette, how are you? You're one of
I'm so happy to be here, like back in the season of, like when it gets this time of year, it's like Scott Fishbowl year, and to see all my friends again. You guys know, if you know, you know. So thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Always love having you.
I'm not going to Cleveland for the live draft this year. I'm going to do another slow draft. So wish me luck.
Doing slow draft. All right. I always feel like I have to introduce these guys in tandem, and they both probably hate it by now. But two-time FFPC champ Sean Stutzman, Nick Costantino. How are you guys?
Doing good. Thanks for having us on.
Answer at the same
Excited
time.
to be here. Yeah, it might make it tricky, but I figured I'd take the lead. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. Excited to draft a team where positions really don't matter. You just draft good players.
That's
and finally, Calo, how are you, bud?
I'm doing good, man. I need all the reps I can get right now for Scott Fishbowl before I come see you guys next weekend.
So let's start right there and talk about like why we need the reps. Is by far this year is to me the best format, the best scoring. You could legitimately start 11 wide receivers, 11 tight ends if you want. There's going to be 11 starting positions, 11 bench, but you don't even need to start a quarterback. You can start up to 2. There's 2.5 points reception for tight ends because, and then the point to target. I'm just like spitballing here. Let me actually get the actual rules, but it is a scoring system that we have not seen in this format at all. The Travis Hunter rule for IDP points is crazy. Rye, we'll just obviously start with you here. Like, what are your thoughts on the scoring as we went over a little bit last week, but have you dug into it?
Yeah. So the most intriguing thing to me is that it's probably closest to real scoring, right? I mean, there aren't as many unique rules where it could, have somebody employing a really unique draft strategy like the returners. Remember when everyone was trying to find the returners? So I'm a huge fan of it. I think that I'm probably going to lean running back heavy early because I think it's going to be easier to find those receivers with a lot of targets as you go on. But everyone's different, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, I think tight end is there's a premium for a reason. There's 2 top guys at the position. I think they'll go really early in this mock, but we'll find out soon.
So let me just clarify that it's 2.5 points per reception. On the sleeper leagues, which will be on in most lives and here tonight. Tight ends get 1 extra point, so it'd be 3.5. Just really insane about the volume is that's basically what you're looking for here, is just players that get a bunch of volume. It's interesting to see where the quarterbacks might go. I'm excited to find out there. I won't be drafting with you guys here today. I'm just going to be kind of watching, but let's go ahead. So one thing I'm going to do is we're going to go through anywhere from like 8 to 9 rounds. We're going to try to cap this at like 90 minutes. We're going to try to get through as many rounds as we can. In true analytics are for the nerds fashion, I'm going to have a fun question for each of you for each round. So as we go through, you guys will make your pick, explain why you picked who you picked, and then answer the question that we have for each round. So let's just get this rolling if we can. I know the number 1 pick is you, Sean Stutzman. The question for round 1 will start off simple. Is what your favorite football movie is, but we're going to draft them. So if they do get picked, you can't use the same one twice. So Sean, with the 101, who's your pick for Scott Fishbowl? But what is the best football movie?
I'm going to draft Travis Hunter first overall. Format is basically designed around him. And I think if he breaks out, or if, with some contingent value, if Brian Thomas gets hurt, something like that, he could just be the number one player in the format if he plays on defense at all. So that's who I'm going to take. Can't take him yet, though, Louie. I don't know if you have to start something in the mock.
Yep, I definitely do. Go ahead.
There we go. And then for my favorite football movie ever, my favorite football movie is Remember the Titans. I don't even know if that needs any good explanation, but
No, I like that. I like that. Let's see there. There we go. We're gonna shrink you a little bit, and we'll do a little bit of the board there, but both good. Number 2 pick is Stacy Perez.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a surprise up front with Travis Hunter. Maybe. I think Sean makes a good point there, but who do you go?
Yeah, so I mean, like with volume is king, right? So I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson. I think that he is set up for an incredible year this year. He had a great year last season too, but I just think that this year he's going to have an even better season. And I mean, he had 304 attempts last year and like 1,400 yards. It's amazing. So I'm pretty happy with taking Bijan at 102.
Yeah.
Do you want my favorite movie?
Yep, you go ahead with your movie.
Okay, so in true lawyer fashion here, I'm going to bend the rules just a little bit and tell you that my favorite football movie, it's not a movie, it's a show, and that's going to be Friday Night Lights, because I would run through a wall for Coach Taylor. Okay. Like the all-time, one of my favorite shows, sports related or not, like phenomenal show.
And the movie's great too, so you could even kind of take that. But yeah, Ryan being the lawyer here too, he always breaks the rules and pushes the rules in all my games. So totally understand. Love both your answers. Calo up for the number 3 pick.
Yeah, I got sniped already, so I appreciate that. But I told myself at 3, it's gonna be Bijan or Bowers for me. In sleeper, if he catches a first down, it's 4.5 points. So I'm just gonna rock with that and try to have that advantage every time.
Yep.
And for my movie, I'll take Little Giants, something that I need to rewatch ASAP, but that's definitely up there for me.
Love it. Nick Costantino, you're up with the 4 pick. I think those are the top 3 picks. I mean, I think that's pretty. I think that would be pretty standard on a lot of boards. Nick, where do you go here? Or are you happy that someone fell to you?
I think I'm just going to take Jamar Chase here. He scored like 100 points more than the next highest receiver. I don't see any reason why he's not going to repeat those numbers this year. He's tied to an elite offense. A big play waiting to happen at any moment. So I'm just going to take the top receiver available. Man, favorite football movie. That's tough. I was just going to say Little Giants because that was my clear favorite. Can I repeat that, or should I choose another one?
If you could choose another one, I mean, the best thing is whoever's 8th here is going to the bet's going to maybe struggle by the time we get to the 8th one. But we'll
Holy
see.
Shit! Yeah, I had Remember the Titans and Little Giants ready to go. Man, another good football movie other than that. Wow.
Come on, there's a bunch. You're gonna kick yourself.
Why am I not thinking of another one here?
He's gonna say 80 for Brady.
No.
That's so good.
Give me a couple. Oh man.
Man, I don't even. Now I'm stuttering for you.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, come on. Who just gave away the best answer that's remaining?
100%.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. I should have thought of that.
You
I only
gotta
had
know
the 2 ready to go. That's my.
That's the type of situation, and you guys did wrong there. Is like when someone's like not there or they're not picking, everybody's like, all right, who should we just give them as an auto pick? And you guys gave them one of the better ones. You should have ended up. You should have gave them. Now I can't even think of a really bad one.
Rudy. Rudy.
Oh, Rudy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Jeremy, you're up next for both. What's your Scott Fish pick? And is there any good football movies left that Nick couldn't think of?
It's all right. There's not that many good football movies, right? I am gonna stay in Buffalo fashion, and I'll take Josh Allen here. I do get the format scoring, but you can still start two quarterbacks. Traditionally, in a super flex format, those quarterbacks have more stability if you can get two of the better ones. So I'm going to still ride that out. Him falling to 5 really feels like a great opportunity with really those elite guys at the top of the other positions kind of being taken with Chase and Bowers. So I'm probably going to go there, just take that value falling, and I'll go with We Are Marshall. I like that movie. I'm always a good fan for that when that's on TV, so I'll roll with that.
That's good. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, the only two players that would have scored in the top 10 in the scoring format the last 2 years. So consistency for sure. Don't hate the pick. Ryan, you're up.
There's a couple things that piss me off. Number one, somebody offering Waterboy to Nick and lobbing him a great choice there. Also, Al getting his 1B choice in Brock Bowers, which I think it could potentially be the 101 in this thing. But anyways, I'm going to go with Trey McBride here. I'm going to stick to my argument with regards to the two premium tight end positions. I want to snag one of these guys. I think there's a huge fall off after this, and I might try to start multiple tight ends depending on how the board falls. So I want to get as many as I can.
All right. Steve, you're up with the 1-7. Who are we taking and why?
Well, I'm with Jeremy. I want that. I just want that stability of having one of the running quarterbacks. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson. The one thing I don't like is that he only had 4 rushing touchdowns last year, but because he's got the hammer to just pound it in every time with Derrick Henry. But having both of those guys in the backfield just opens things up for both of them. So he'll have a ton of rushing yards. He'll put up the passing stats too. And I want to go with a safe pick to start out with, and I think he's the safest right now. Then for my movie, I'm glad you guys left me one last great one, Varsity Blues. Love that movie, Varsity Blues.
That's really good. Saw that in their chat. I think Steph Miller said it there. Yeah, Steph Miller giving out some good ones out in the chat. You guys can check out the chat maybe for some good answers here. All right, we are last pick in the first round. Yvette, who you picking, and do you have a football movie that's still made your list?
I do. Which one do you want me to do first?
Do your pick. Yeah, do your regular pick.
So, I'm going to take Saquon. Am I going to get 2 in a row?
You are going to get 2 in a row,
okay,
but right. You're going to stop with this one for a second because there's
we're doing the
question for a second round. But go ahead, do Saquon. I'm
going to go with Saquon Barkley. Like I said, this is all about volume. I want a good running back, and it's just hard to pass up on Saquon Barkley there. And as far as my movie is concerned, I mean, it's just like How I Met You, Louie. You had me at hello.
Barry McGuire is good. That was the one that I wanted to feed Nick when he was struggling. I thought that was that should be it. I wish anybody here believed that though about when we met each other, because it was definitely a lot different. But I get it. I appreciate you throwing me that bone in public. Then your second pick. Oh wait, hold on. We're gonna so that first round that was great. We did the football movies. What am I gonna do here for round two? Round two, we will do your go-to drink. Doesn't need to be alcoholic. We're not here just to promote bad lifestyles. It could be a non-alcoholic drink, but I have a feeling I know some of yours is going to be. Yvette, go ahead with your Scott Fish pick first, and then tell us what your go-to drink is.
Okay, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson, because I know we're a little worried about how JJ McCarthy's going to do there, but I really don't feel like that's going to affect Justin Jefferson. I just think he's that good. And my go-to drink is, and I think this happened when I got pregnant, because I never really loved this that much, but now I do, and it's just lemonade, any type of lemonade, pink lemonade, any lemonade. That's my go-to drink.
Yeah. I was so worried that you're going to be like, this probably happened when I was pregnant. It's vodka teas.
So was I. I was really
all I
worried
do.
about that too.
Ever since I got pregnant, just haven't been able to cut it. That's great. I'm glad that you went with lemonade. You scared the shit out of me there. Appreciate it. Thank you. Steve, back to you. What's your Scott Fish pick and your go-to drink?
Okay. Well, I'm going to kind of contradict myself, because I just said that I like to have safe picks, especially early on, but I'm going to go ahead with CMC, Christian McCaffrey. The biggest upside probably in the whole draft. If he stays healthy, he's the league winner. So I'll roll with that and hope he stays healthy. For drink, I'd say generally when I'm out, if I'm at the bowling alley on league night, getting myself a drink, I'm getting myself a Captain and Diet Coke, and get a couple of those in the system, and it's good aiming fluid. Put up some good bowling scores.
It was like that way with darts for me. I wasn't good until drink 3, and then I was really bad after drink 6. But that 3 to 6 was a real nice sweet spot. Ryan, you are up here at the 2-3.
Well, I realized too that I didn't pick a football movie, even after giving my long spiel about Trey McBride. So I think I'll go with just the longest yard. I would have taken Jerry Maguire, so good pick of that. And for this, I'm actually kind of surprised that he made it around the turn, but I was kind of risking that, I guess. But I'm going to go Jaden Daniels here. I really want the premium points at quarterback for rushing, and I think he's in that first tier of quarterbacks that you would want in this format. So despite saying earlier that I wanted to go running back early, I didn't follow my own advice. And for my drink, I'm just going to go with the old fashioned.
Old fashioned. Was that what you were drinking the other night when you were texting me to come out and meet you? Were you on the old fashions?
I did have an old fashioned, yes. Yep.
All right, Jeremy.
All I know is me and Ryan are fighting at Saturday because he just
about Jaden Daniels or the old fish or the
both.
Old
So I'm just gonna cease this, and someone else can make a pick. So real quick, are we just going based on like player, or is this going to be like my team, even though it's only 8 players?
No, you should do it the way you want, but I mean, yeah, I don't think anything's going to go so awry off of ADP. So
okay,
build it the way you want to build your team, I guess. The thinking is with the format the way it is, it really shouldn't change anyone's build.
I get you. So I will go. I'm gonna take probably. I'll go with. Man, you guys are making this tough for me. I guess I'll take Ashton Genty. Volume's king. We kind of talked about it. The half points per carry. I mean, it's pretty clear when you take a running back that early that he's just going to be the offense. Honestly, could be a hard tick even hit 2 Bowers. It's one of the ones that I'm a little bit more concerned on, just based on how they run this offense. Is it just going to be all of Ashton Genty? He doesn't get hurt. Obviously, Bowers will probably be the lead target in the passing game, but Genty as well will have that passing game and rushing upside. So I'll take that there. I was debating between going 2 quarterbacks, but I'll go there. And then my drink, I guess I'll just go with a bourbon and iced tea then, since I can't have the old fashioned because Ryan's, ruined everything. But
I wonder if the non-Buffalonians here, I mentioned vodka teas, you just mentioned bourbon tea. I think like they are probably like, what the hell are these people talking about? Because I do think we're the only people that mix iced tea with our alcoholic drinks. Anytime I go out of town, people look at me like I'm crazy when I ask for it. So little Buffalo love here that you guys didn't know you were in. Nick Costantino, you are up.
All right. I'll take the 5th highest scoring guy in the league last year and he was splitting carries last year for the most part. So if he just takes even a slight uptick higher, I think he could be the top scoring guy. So I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs here comfortably.
And well, first let me ask you a follow up here, because just to clarify, is that in Scott Fishbowl, this current scoring format?
Yep.
Yep.
Using this format scoring,
Okay.
he was the 5th highest scoring. So
awesome.
This figured, and that was splitting, and Montgomery got hurt super late in the year, so it wasn't like Monty was hurt for a while. So I think if he gets maybe even 5 to 10% more of that load, he could be the number 1 player in this format, even without the volume. And my favorite drink would be a Crown and Coke. My buddy got married last night, and I probably had one too many of those, but I'm a big Crown and Coke guy.
All right. Al, you're up.
So I got sniped on 2 drinks, shocker. But a Captain and Coke is definitely my go-to, but I'll pick another one right after. You guys forced me into being a homer, and I'll take Jalen Hurts. When you go Bowers, it's kind of an open board at that point. I probably won't go bully tight end, so I probably would have taken Gibbs or Hurts. But I just want those running quarterbacks. It's point per carry. And rushing first downs are going to be even more of a boost as well. So I'll take Hurts. And then for drinks, an espresso martini really gets me going. So I'll just take that for sure.
I like that. Had my first one this year and then followed up with a lot. Stacy,
Start the night with it. You got to start the night with it.
I tend to do, because caffeine doesn't do it for me really, or anything. I tend to end my nights with them.
That's trouble.
I think, that's what people say, but I tend to fall right to sleep. You put enough vodka in there, you'll go right to sleep.
Exactly.
Stacy,
yeah,
with the 2-7, who you got?
Well, I was going to go running back here if Gibbs or Genty fell to me, but since they didn't, I'm going to take one of my favorite receivers and go Amon-Ra St. Brown right here. So he had 115 receptions last year, and with this format, you get 2.5 points per reception if you're playing on Sleeper. So, lawyers, we're not great at math, but we do have calculators at our disposal. So he would have given you, just on receptions alone last year, 287 points. Come on now. Like, how can you pass that up?
That's good.
You want my favorite drink? Yeah. So I'm a Coke fiend, and I mean like Coca-Cola, not the cocaine. But yeah, Coke is my jam. Regular Coke. I don't want any Coke Zero. I don't want Diet Coke. None of that nonsense. And I want it with crushed ice in a nice styrofoam cup from like Chick-fil-A, Wawa, Sonic. Like, they have the best. McDonald's would be up there with their fountain Coke if it wasn't for their cups that they put it in, because that really does make a difference. So
I love it.
Right,
and
the connoisseur.
I feel you on that for sure. I feel you. All right, and Sean, I believe you're only up for. Wait, are we up for one pick? One, or are we doing the? I think we do the 3rd round reversal on here. But go ahead, pick this pick, and either way, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to take a guy who I think could just lead all running backs in catches pretty easily, actually. And if he gets more rushing volume, which There's a decent chance he does. There's not a ton of strong play behind him. He's another guy who, like Gibbs, who Nick took before, I think could just be the number one player in the format, and that's Devin Achane. I think he has the skill set and the receiving chops in this format. I think is pretty vital to have. So I think he's the best pick. And my favorite drink, I'll go with the very Buffalo answer, Blue Light.
Okay. Yeah, you're not a big drinker either, so
Not
you'll
a big drinker at all. So
you'll go with the.
I definitely could have said water there, and that would have been more accurate. So,
and there would have been nobody judging you.
No.
All right, so we are going back to the third round reversal, so it will be Yvette starting our third round here. Before we get into that, let's see what the question will be for this round. Let's do this. What is your one non-fantasy football, but a football take this year? So non-fantasy related, what's your best NFL take this year? Yvette, go ahead and answer, or go ahead and do your pick. Let us know why, and then give us your best NFL take this year. So we got you. Oh, hold on. I'm unmuting you. Oh, wait. You got to unmute yourself. Sorry.
Sorry, that was my bad. But I can't draft. I'm trying to draft my player too.
Who are you trying to draft?
My thing's still showing like Stacy. I don't know why I'm so behind. Who am I trying to draft? You know, I'm trying to draft. That's Derrick Henry. I'm trying to draft Derrick Henry. Why? Because I feel like, I know they say age, you know, what comes with the running back position, but I think that Derrick Henry is the exception to the rule. He killed it last year coming to a new team, and I think this year he's going to repeat. Oh,
I put it in for you.
All right, awesome. And my football take is that I kind of feel like the Detroit Lions are not going to be good this year.
All right. Any specific, just losing Woody Johnson? Is that your offense coordinator, or just
maybe
just
because
Woody Johnson, the best OC.
Wait, what did I say?
Woody Johnson, the Jets owner.
Oh, did I say Woody Johnson? Sorry, Ben Johnson. I was saying Woody Johnson. Sorry. Yeah, the same. They're all the same. All right. Well, I hope I'm going to clip that, and if you're right, I will 100% put it out there. And if it's wrong, I'll just throw it out. I am getting corrected in the chat. Thanks, Steph. I get it. I'm an idiot. You watch often. All right, Steve. Go ahead with your Scott Fishbowl pick and your NFL hot take.
Okay. This is an easy pick for me. CeeDee Lamb is still here. I'm going to take him. He missed a couple games last year. Dak was out for a bunch of games. He still had over 100 catches, almost 1,200 yards. The year before, over 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. So he's going to get the volume, and he'll have his quarterback back. So we should be good to go there. Then let's see, my hot take. There's always a team that goes from worst to first and in their division. And maybe this probably isn't the hottest of takes because I've heard a lot of people say it, but I think the 49ers will be back this year. And I hate to say it because I hate them because they've knocked my Packers out of the playoffs quite a bit the past few years. But I think they've got the easy schedule to set themselves up to at least be back in the playoffs this year.
All right. Like that. Ryan, you're up. What do you got?
Nice pick by Steve there. I was considering two guys, and now I'm happy to take Malik Neighbors here. 170 targets last year with some of the worst quarterback play you'll ever see. Sorry, I think I might have sniped Jeremy again there. I'm going to go. I think at first, Louie, you said just football take, right? NFL take. It doesn't have to be super hot, right?
No, yeah. Just your best take. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be overly hot. Just kind of you know, don't be safe. I mean,
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say that the Raiders are gonna make the playoffs this year.
Oh, I like that.
And I was going to go all the way to say hosting a game, but I'm not sure with the format that's going to work its way out with some of the teams. So I'll just say they're going to make the playoffs.
All right. I don't hate that. I really that's a little interesting to me, and I think they're going to have an offense there. I don't think they're going to. I think their defense will still struggle. But Jeremy, who's been throwing his arms in disgust during a live mock draft of an event that isn't even for money. So, but you're mad, and I understand. What do you got going for us here now that your dreams have been crushed?
Well, I'm just mad because I know Ryan's in my division for Saturday, so I obviously know my life's going to be hell come Saturday. So, yeah, I am going to, and this is tough. I think I'm going to take Joe Burrow because people are avoiding the quarterback position. Again, the stability in a super flex to start those two quarterbacks is a pretty good advantage. I know you don't have to technically start it, but you have that ability. So to me, it's still super flex. And I really want a Neighbors or Lamb. I feel like the receivers get a little bit tighter after those guys, at least in this format. So I'm going to roll with that and hope that stability kind of rides out. And I'm going to go with a football conspiracy type of take. And that's going to be that the Bills finally win their Super Bowl this year to open the new stadium with a banner. That's me. That's what I think is going to happen. Said it for the last few years to my father-in-law. He can be my attested to it. But if the NFL's rigged, that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying they're going to win the Super Bowl and open the stadium and open the season with a banner. So,
well, let's just hope the NFL is rigged. Nick, you're up.
I'm going to easily take Puka Nacua here after Neighbors and Lamb just went. I think he's the last receiver that can hit receiver one. That's on the board. I think he's going to get a lot of volume. I like the Rams offense a lot this year. He just feels like a safe pick at this spot. And then for my football take, I'm going to say that the Dolphins are complete garbage and win maybe 6 games this year at most, even if Tua is healthy. I just think that the writing has been kind of on the wall. Like Tyreek had a bad year, Waddle had a bad. I know that Tua was hurt for a little bit there, but I just don't see the Dolphins being a good team this year. I just think they're overrated at a lot of their positions.
I feel like they're stuck in the middle with they really haven't made a rebuild. Are you trying to be good? Like, I don't think they're good enough to try to be good. And then they were cutting some older players. It's just like you're stuck in the middle. You got to go full force here. I think that all probably happens after exactly what you said. I think they struggle this year, and it probably all happens after this year. They'll go full rebuild. Al, you're up.
I fully agree with that take as well, Nick. I think they stink just across the board, really, to be honest. So I'm with you there. I'm going to start leaning into running back here. So I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor, just follow that volume that the scoring format's going to give me. And then for my take, why not get a little bit hot? But I do believe this a bit. I think the Broncos win the AFC West this year.
We got some Broncos love. We got some Raiders love. Chargers should be better.
You said Raiders make playoffs, right? So I'm not like disagreeing with it.
Well, what I like to hear from those two takes and you're not disagreeing with them, that must mean the Chiefs suck. And anything that goes with that, anything that brings the Chiefs down a peg, I will gladly accept.
I think they take a step back, but never suck. You know,
just let me live, Al. Just let me live. I just want let there be a chance. Even the New England dynasty had one major Brady injury.
That's true.
True. At least we got that out of that one year. But we'll see. Stacy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna go another running back here, and I'm gonna go Kyron Williams. Even though do you guys just have like players that just irrationally give you the ick? Because Kyron Williams gives me the ick, but I just it kind of makes sense here. 316 attempts last year, like we've been saying all night, right? Volume is king, so can't ignore those numbers. So I'm gonna go Kyron Williams, and I'm gonna get real ridiculous with my hot football take for you, and I'm gonna say, as much as I cannot stand the Chiefs, they're going to come back again. They are going to the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift midfield, and then he's going to retire. That's my take.
That may have been more conspiracy than mine. I'm just saying.
See, that's somehow. But as soon as you mentioned Taylor Swift, then the real conspiracy is there. NFL is
that's definitely NFL rigged right there. Mine is
NFL is all the dads and Brads and Chads heads are going to explode right as soon as it happens.
100%. I love the Brads and Chads. I hate everything you just said. That makes me sick to my stomach, and I hope it doesn't happen. I was fine with it happening. I was fine with it happening last year. Like if they were going to win, like do it. But no, now it's it. I'm only wishing for damage. I'm going to be that kind of fan this year. Sean.
I'm going to keep the running back train going and take another guy who is pretty good at catching the ball. And it was probably my favorite pick last year, Bucky Irving. I think his receiving volume is only going to go up. And in a format like this, where it's 2.5 points per catch, I think that's going to be pretty good. My hot take for this year is pretty spicy, I think. I think the breakout offense in the NFL this year is going to be the Carolina Panthers. I think they're going to challenge for their division, and late in the year, Bryce Young will be a dark horse MVP candidate.
Oh, very spicy pick, but I don't hate that, and I'm, as a Bryce Young, very big investor in Bryce Young, especially in Dynasty. I love to hear I love to hear your takes on this. My hot take, no one asked, but I'll give it. And Ryan knows this, and any listeners know this. I'm going to even go a little bit crazier than I have in the offseason. But right now, the person that starts the most games for the New Orleans Saints this year is Kenny Pickett. And you're going to tell me he's not even on the roster, Lou. What are you talking about? And that's because I thought he might go into the favorite role there in Cleveland. It seems like they're going to go Flacco. The Gabriel Shador thing, whatever. It does seem like he's being more unlikely there. But if they could flip him for a 7th round to go play for his old OC, they're going to be really rough there at quarterback. Kenny Pickett to the Saints. You heard it here first. I won't do the Sean things. He's going to play for the MVP or anything, but there it is. He'll at least play some games there. All right, we're going to get into round 4. Round 4's question is going to be, what was your all-time best fantasy take you've ever had? Sean, leading us forth. I hope it's one of the ones that led you to $1 million, but go ahead, do your pick and your best fantasy take you've ever had.
I'm glad I get to say this one before, cause. All right, so my pick is going to be Chase Brown. Another guy who touches the ball. I just think that's going to be the most valuable thing to have this year. And my best fantasy pick was a decision in the fantasy playoffs. Our second year we won the main event to start Zay Jones over the very popular pick of starting Zonovan Knight. Zonovan Knight, everyone added Zonovan Knight. He was starting for the Jets out of nowhere, and we went against the consensus and played Zay Jones, and Zay Jones had 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys and helped propel us to our second main event. So I think that one probably takes the cake.
I would assume so. Can't wait to hear what Nick has left. I have one for Nick if he doesn't have one ready, because I give him credit for one that I took from him. But Stacy, you're up next.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Nico Collins here. I think Houston's going to have a bounce back year. They've got a new OC in there. Nico's healthy. And during the time that he was, healthy last season, I think it was like the first 5 games is when he got hurt. I mean, he just looked like an absolute stud. Looked like he could have competed for the number 1 wide receiver overall. Love Nico. So I'm going to take him here. Probably my best football take ever was going absolute ham on Sam Laporta his rookie year. I felt pretty good about that, and missing out on him in one draft, I was so upset I almost flipped a table. I had to get up and walk away.
I like that. Al, you're up next with the 4-3.
Yeah, this range gets tough. There's a lot of talent on the board at wide receivers still, so I'm gonna just take one, try to get elite at every position here. So I'll take Brian Thomas for my pick, and it's tough because I don't really remember my good calls. I really just remember my misses at the forefront of my mind. But I would say definitely being overweight on Devon Achane coming in Dynasty was one of my best. I really loved his college tape, and everyone was arguing about if he could hold up. And then, of course, he got hurt. But I saw that as really just like a buy window. So really staying the course with him, and now he's just an elite player. So he's a big win for me, prospect-wise.
Awesome. Nick, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take – I think this pick is going to be Josh Jacobs. He looks like there's only him and one other solid running back. I think the amount of volume that he's looking at, he's going to work in this format. I'm not really a big Marshawn Lloyd believer. I just not sure if he can stay healthy or not. And I like the Green Bay offense, and they like to run the ball. I think he just kind of fits this format. So I'm just going to take a guy that I really don't like to take a lot, but in this format, I think he makes a lot of sense. And then for the best fantasy take, I think, man, there's a bunch of different directions I can go here, but I think Jamar Chase from 3 years ago, right after he had the drop problems, he was he said something about the stripes on the ball, and he started slipping in main events a little bit, and he followed us in the late 5 of our second year doing the main event, and that was probably the best team that me or Sean has ever assembled, and Jamar Chase was a big reason for that. With Cooper Kupp, I could have said Cooper Kupp too, but that wasn't really my call, so I couldn't claim that one. So I would go with Jamar Chase from 2021.
I love the humbleness there. What's my best take? Dude, I could have 10 of them. That was I could go a lot of different ways there. I love the humbleness there. But now, to that point, you gave me 2 there a little bit, and I'll tell you the one that I wrote last year, as I remember we were talking real early in the offseason about crazy exposures, and you were like, Bucky Irving, man, I'm all over Bucky, and that got me on a lot more Bucky.
Me and Sean were both in on Bucky. That was one of the easiest values in draft rooms last year. I think I was the 9th highest exposed on him in BBM last year, and that made me really proud.
It was it was cheap. It was a great pick. No, I give you a lot of credit for getting me on that train, and I think it was so early that I got him in a lot of Dynasty, which is obviously a big part of my portfolio. Jeremy, did you get sniped again? It's the silence. Oh wait, you're on.
No, it was it was a yes. It was in fact yes.
That's great.
It's all right. I'll live with it. Let's see here. Although it's created quite a dilemma in my brain. It's just a mock draft. I'll get a little risky because I just love this player. So I'll go with Garrett Wilson. I know nobody loves Justin Fields as a passer, but he can feed a single guy, and that's what the Jets have, and that is Garrett Wilson, and he's proven that he can handle the volume. Yeah, I'm getting ready for it to be kind of a little bit of a breakout. it's a little high, a little risky, but I just feel like in this territory, there's a lot of guys that are similarly kind of around that territory. I just think that he could get fed a little bit more, and you're looking at that volume. I'm trying to find somebody who off the radar volume type of player probably could get him coming around the turn, but I'll grab him here. And fantasy take, much like Nick, I just never get anything wrong. No. Let's see. Which ones did I get wrong? Tank Bigsby over Travis Etienne. I might have had to wait 3 years for it to come through, but let's see. I will say I was CJ Stroud QB1 in that class for Dynasty. I feel like we could pretty safely say that's kind of coming to fruition here. I know it was a down year last year, but unless Young has a big bounce back and Richardson can stay healthy, which both seem fairly unlikely at this point, I think that's a pretty solid one. I think he'll bounce back this year as well. So we'll go with that.
Like it. Ryan, you're up.
Well, I moved downstairs to have a better Wi-Fi connection, and then just learned that they are replacing a transformer outside my house, so I'm going to lose power any minute. But I am going to take a player that I'm very excited about this year. Also had 158 targets last year, and I think that actually is going to go up, believe it or not, with Drake London. I think Atlanta is going to lean into their playmakers this year more than ever, and London is just going to get peppered with targets, and it's going to be a Bijan show on the ground. So I'm happy to take Drake London here. My story actually involves, coincidentally, Garrett Wilson for best take. His rookie year, he was going in like the 15th round of best ball drafts, and I couldn't believe it. It's like, guys, a first-round pick. And I think people were so scared about the Jets, and I just was smashing that, and it helped me a lot. That was my first year doing BBM. So I definitely cashed with Garrett Wilson, and then have since sold him off some places, but I think it was a good take.
Awesome. All right, Steve, you are up.
Okay, well, I just got sniped for the first time. I definitely was hoping to get London. I've been, maybe it's because I've been listening to my colleague Jim Coventry a little bit too much, but Jim just loves Drake London this year. But anyway, I can move on, and I'm going to go with a guy who everybody loved last year, but he did not meet expectations, and I think he'll bounce back this year. Breece Hall. He's definitely got the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Kind of like I mentioned with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, when you've got that mobile quarterback as a threat, that just opens things up for the running back in the run game as well. So I feel good about getting Breece Hall here. And then for my best take, fantasy football take, I'm going to go back to, the championship that stands out is always the home league that I've been in for, 20 years with my best friends. And somehow I've only actually won that league once. And, the fact that I work for RotoWire now, I get to hear about it all the time, how I never win. But the one time that I did win, it was in 2011. I drafted Ray Rice with my first pick, and he had he had already had a couple good seasons, of course, but he had his best season yet, over 2,000 total yards, 15 touchdowns. I took Matt Stafford at quarterback. He was coming off an injury, and in his rookie year, he threw 20 interceptions and 13 touchdowns, but he exploded, had 41 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards that year that I picked him. And I had Megatron to go along with him, and he had, of course, a huge year to go along with Stafford too. So that was my one championship in the all-important home league.
It was a big year. Vet, you are up with the last pick in the 4th round.
Okay. Well, I was really hoping to get this player, Vlad McConkey. I really believe in the sophomore thing is going to happen, and I'm so happy that I get to press draft on him. I didn't think I was going to. I don't know what's going on with you guys. I don't know why you passed up on Vlad McConkey, but I really feel like he has the potential to be number one target there. you want me to give you my other one too, or
do your best fantasy take
yes.
you've ever had?
Okay, my best fantasy take I ever had was back in the day, and it was my home league too. And I took AJ Green, who was a rookie that year, and everybody was like, "What?" And it was like it was like one of those things where I probably got him in the 15th round or something, you know. And it was actually, I didn't even know what I was doing at that point. I just picked him, and I looked really cool for it. I'll never forget that. I was like, yeah.
AJ Green was another guy that Ryan's story with Garrett was came out. It was a rookie. Garrett Wilson was because of Elijah Moore, current Buffalo Bill, that people were worried about. Maybe he's got a little bit of a resurgence here. Let's real quick run through 4 rounds here. Sean, Travis Hunter, Dever Deshan, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, Stacy, Bijan Robinson, St. Brown, Kyron Williams, Nico Collins, L, Brock Bowers, Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Thomas Jr., Nick, Jamar Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nakua, Josh Jacobs, Jeremy, Josh Allen, Jainty, Burrow, and Wilson, and he hates his team. Ryan McBride, Daniels, Neighbors, London, Steve, Lamar Jackson, McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Breece Hall, and Yvette Barkley, Jefferson, Henry, and McConkey through 4. For our 5th round, we did the easy one. This one, a little bit. This one's going to be a little bit tough on you guys. What was the worst fantasy take you've ever had? Yvette, go ahead with your pick, and then your worst fantasy take.
Okay. With my pick, I know it's just like Justin Jefferson. There's the quarterback and the offensive line coach, but I really feel like JSN is the yak wide receiver. Let me press draft on him. I always have to have a wideout from Ohio State. I mean, who doesn't win their champion? If you don't have one from Ohio State on your team, we're not going to win. So I'm going to go with him. And my worst take, the one that's most precious in my mind, was last year. I was so high on Zamir White. Like, I was riding so hard for Zamir White. And, yeah, I don't think we have to talk about what happened there, but it was horrible.
I absolutely love JSN. That's like probably one of my favorite picks so far in the draft where you got him. JSN is, to me, I'm stupid high on him and probably overexposed because I don't like as high of exposures as I have on him, but I'm big into JSN. So love that pick. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay.
We're at the point of the draft where everyone's going, no, okay, and taking a few extra seconds to think about it, and that's okay.
Yeah, for my pick, I'll go with AJ Brown, who's always a safe pick. He's, I mean, you've got the running game around him, so he doesn't get as many targets as you'd like, but he also manages to get open, gets touchdowns. It's an efficient offense. So at this point, it's a good safe pick. He'll get enough volume. Let's see. For my, I don't know, Yvette just brought back some bad memories with Zamir White because I was all in on him too. I think I drafted him in every league I was in last year. So that's definitely was a bad take. But another one, actually, what's even worse is when you put out a piece of content and it's out on the web on the web for people to see for all eternity. And I always write an article about guillotine leagues and kind of strategy for guillotine leagues. And one of my takes last year was to draft, basically draft safe receivers who have had proven production. And I don't remember who that safe player was that I said, but I said, do not draft Malik Neighbors in that spot. So I regretted that, and I did not draft him in any league, so I missed out.
Yeah. Thanks for admitting that. Brian, go ahead with your pick, and then which of your horrible takes are you going to put in that last one? You're going to talk about maybe a Mecca Buka again? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's always good to talk about a player who hasn't played a single game, and so you're going to know whether it's a horrible take or not. But two things: it might be more of a miracle that my transformer hasn't yet been replaced, and I'm still here to make this pick, or the fact that this player is still on the board in the 5th round. How is George Kittle still available in this format in the 5th round? I think that's a mistake by the drafters here. I think and I know it's only eight drafters, but man, this guy is arguably like right behind McBride as far as like, with scoring for the position. And I think, we're talking about it. I think maybe Sean was the one who mentioned this, that the 49ers are going to have a good year. Somebody was high on them here. So yeah, I think a bounce back year is in order. So for my worst take, yeah, I'll own up to this. I think it's time to throw in the towel. I was the biggest Kyle Pitts fan, you'll know. And I think it might be time to admit defeat there. Listen, you're going to get a couple stories about how he still looks good and this and that, but use that as a chance to sell. And I think it's over.
Yeah. He always has that 1 or 2 weeks where you're like, maybe it's just like, it's like the abusive relationship where they just don't hit you that week. You're like, I think he's changed. I think he might be all right. It's getting better. No, definitely not going to happen with Kyle Pitts. I think you're right. And whatever. I was on that train with you. I think plenty of us were. So I'm not going to shit on you too much. Jeremy, you're up.
Hello. Yeah. So this 8 theme thing is really messing with my brain. I'm going to double dip on the Ohio State receivers because nobody likes them apparently outside of Yvette. But I'm going to take Marvin Harrison. I still believe in the talent. I think given another year, he obviously hit the weight room once or twice there. I think you could see some of that workload come back off of Trey McBride and go towards Harrison a little more. The Cardinals kind of told us that they believe in that receiver room. They didn't add anybody really in the draft. So I feel like it's going to be Harrison and McBride seeing that volume. And with who's left here, I honestly was going back and forth between Harrison and pairing Higgins with Burrow. But I'll go with Harrison there. And then bad football takes. Me and Nick already talked about it. We don't have bad football takes. So let's see here. No, I'll go with Sam Laporta. I didn't think Sam Laporta was going to do anything in his rookie season. And yeah, we know how that one went. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory there.
Okay. Let's do who's up. We got Nick.
All right. I'm going to take someone that's been rocketing up boards lately. I unfortunately wasn't ripping them at all until just recently, but is looking good. He's practicing already. So I'm going to take Rashee Rice. My worst take. Does anyone remember Tyrion Davis Price?
Oh, man.
TDP?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, TDP. Yeah. My first year doing Underdog, that was probably my most exposed player. I had just watched it all year, and I was like, oh, San Fran running back in every draft. And we haven't seen him play in the NFL at all. So that was just a complete swing and a mess. I think buying in on the San Fran backups is generally pretty good, but that particular one definitely didn't work out.
Yeah, that's a good pull, though. I do like to hear the name. All right, L.
Apparently, I'm like a secret Denver Broncos fan. I'm going to take Bo Nix. I think he's got a little bit rushing upside that people don't really pay too much attention to. So I'm just going to lock down 2 rushing quarterbacks here and then kind of build out my roster from there. And then one that I lose sleep at night still is I was a big Trey Benson fan coming into last year. Definitely did not think James Conner was going to put my face in the dirt. And I definitely drafted Trey Benson over Lad McConkey in at least one rookie draft. So that makes me physically ill. And I will own up to that at this point. So thanks for making me do that.
This is all about progress and healing. This is what we do here. Stacy, you're up.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna take Chuba Hubbard here. Who said they were a big fan of the Panthers offense?
Well, it was Sean.
Right.
down
Yeah,
there.
I agree. I think they're going to be pretty interesting. And Chuba Hubbard was just somebody who get so cheap last year. You're probably not going to get him as cheap this year, but I still think he's going to have just an excellent year. And my worst take, and Steph, I hope you're still in the chat listening to this because you and I remember when we were like, oh my God, like 30% exposure on Marvin Mims his rookie year. And man, that hurts. That one hurts. That was rough. Loved some Marvin Mims. Was so ready, like, and excited for him coming out of the draft. And man, that was a whiff.
There might be a little best ball still in him. There's some best ball late round value in him. Maybe we'll see. I'm not.
But did you take him in the 9th round somewhere, Louie? Like I did.
I didn't. No, I did not.
Yeah,
but also, no. But hey, we strike out more than we hit. I'm talking about my personal life again. I'm gonna move on to Sean. And Sean, end the 5th round here with who?
I will actually draft a quarterback. I didn't think I was actually gonna in this draft, but I think he actually makes sense here, and I have stack with it. So I will take Baker Mayfield. I think it makes a lot of sense with Bucky. I think any kind of passing play where Bucky catches the ball is going to be a huge win, and underrated as a scrambler. Will give you a little bit on the ground. Which is not what everybody thinks about. And I think their defense is still going to be terrible, which means their offense is still going to score a lot of points. So that's where I'll go there. And my worst fantasy take, it might have been on this show, actually, a couple years ago, where I said, why would anyone draft the wide receiver 5 on the Houston Texans? Well, that wide receiver 5 was a rookie named Tank Dell. Who was, as it turns out, not the wide receiver 5 on the Texans. It was a little bit better than that, but I was not a believer, and I was as wrong as it was possible to be. So.
I love the healing process we're all doing here. That all hurt. We all saw the pain in each other's faces to say that. Oh, what, you want mine? I'm sorry, I don't have any. I have a bunch. The first person that comes to mind is Laviska Shenault. I think especially in Dynasty, ended up drafting 7 million shares. And then after he looked horrible in his rookie year, I was like, you know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go try to sell or buy low. And I bought a lot more low, and then he even got lower. So Laviska Shenault is definitely my worst take, I think, in fantasy football. Okay, we're going into round 6. This will be a fun question. Question for round 6 is, who was your least favorite pick of the round before? So we're going to get a little bit more personal now. We're going to start shooting some daggers. Sean, round 6, go ahead with your pick. And what was your least favorite pick from me?
All right. Well, I should have made this pick last time, so everyone could have said it for this round. But I'm going to go a little bit off the board here, and I'm going to take Alvin Kamara because, like all the other running backs I've drafted, he catches the ball. So I think that's going to be pretty valuable again. I think all he has to do is be the same player he was last year, and he'll be a top 10 running back. So I'm into that. 70 catches, here we come. My least favorite pick from the last round is going to be probably what your favorite pick from the last round, Louie. I'm going to say Jackson Smith-Njigba. I love the player. I am terrified of the situation in Seattle. I don't have any idea how that's going to shake out. I think their offensive line is going to be atrocious, which means Sam Darnold's going to be seeing ghosts. And if Sam Darnold's seeing ghosts, it's not going to be good for Jackson Smith-Njigba, I don't think. So that's unfortunately my least favorite pick, even though I love the player.
Yeah. All right. That was the nicest way to put it. Go ahead, Stace.
Sean, get out of my head. I just had Baker and Kamara in my queue. I was ready to take those guys. I think I have to agree with you with JSN. I do love JSN as well. I'm so sorry, Yvette. But I do just worry about Sam Darnold there in that new situation after coming off the best year of his career. It just gives me a little bit of pause. But he's still super talented, great player. It's hard to hate any of these picks here. So I'm gonna go with T. Higgins for my pick, and I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope real hard that he stays healthy. Because look, last year, the games that he did play, right, he was averaging like 18 and a half points PPR format per game. All right. So you have to love that. It's on an elite offense. So fingers crossed he stays healthy. And, as a little, plan B, just go grab Mike Gesicki at the end of your draft.
Jeremy, how are you losing your mind? You're 3 picks away, dude, and you're still losing
Doesn't
your mind.
matter, Louie.
Al, go ahead with the 3rd pick in the 6th round. Go on.
Yeah, I don't really know who to pick because you're putting me on the spot to call somebody else out on their pick, so I kind of forgot. But no, I'm gonna actually go James Cook here. I'm not really worried about contract stuff with James Cook. Just gonna keep buying into the offense, and I think if the Bills want to be good, they're gonna give the ball to James Cook again. So just gonna lean into him as a player. And it's kind of tough, especially with the 18. Like I can't say, oh, I hated that pick last round. But I'm just gonna say that a lot of the wide receiver value has been falling down the board. So I'll just pick AJ Brown just because he's an Eagle. So I don't want to be too much of a homer in this draft, but I think there's going to be some solid value as we look down the draft board at wide receiver, especially when you have people like me that just want to take quarterbacks and running backs early. There's just going to be wide receivers that fall, I believe, in this format.
You guys are too nice. Nick, you're up.
All right. I guess I'm just going to stack up Rashee Rice with Mahomes here. I think he's fallen far enough to the point where he's a decent pick. I told myself I wasn't going to draft a quarterback in this, but I don't really see anything else separating. So I'm just going to lean into that Rashee Rice stack there. I think Mahomes a little bit better. I know we all think that they might suck this year, but they're not actually going to suck. They're still going to win games. They might win them in gross fashion, but they're still going to win a bunch of games. So I'll go Mahomes there to stack it up with Rice. And then I think for my worst pick, it would be JSN as well. I'm just not really big on the Seattle offense. Their offensive line sucks. I just think that they might be heading for a rebuild early. And I like JSN, the player. It's just the team more so that I'm concerned.
I'll save my fight back against this towards the end of at the end of the round. Jeremy, you got any players left in your queue now that everyone's taken everyone you like?
You rang. Yeah, I got players, Louie. I got players for everything. Let's see here. I guess I'll just keep hammering the wide receiver value. Contemplating if I want to dip into Carolina or not, but I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin. It might be a little early. I know the contract stuff, blah, 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 blah. I think he'll be here for the Commanders. I'm not afraid of Deebo Samuel taking too much from him. They didn't add anybody really else either that really scares me as far as the receiving side goes. I think that his game paired with Daniels will be nice. Daniels taking a step forward in year 2. So I'm all in on that. And as far as the pick, Al was nice to people, but I probably won't be nice to Al. Yeah, I think that's a little high for Bo Nix. Respect to the process and loving it. I just don't think that he's higher than quarterback 12 if most quarterbacks play healthy. So I'm just not as in on the Denver Broncos, I guess, offensively for quarterback scoring. So,
all right, Ryan.
Well, Jeremy, again, we are like simpatico here with our thinking. It's very much in sync because I was also considering those 2 players that he just mentioned. Terry only because of the stack. I'm honestly kind of afraid of Scary Terry this year. Just touchdown, regression potentially. But I really like Tat McMillan in this format. I think he's going to get peppered with targets, and he's going to be the number 1 option there. So I'm going to take him here. As far as the pick from the last round, I'm also going to agree with Jeremy's take on Al's pick. And again, this is tough. This is like splitting hairs, because there is, I think, some tier breaks here, and I think you're just making some decisions. But yeah, potentially go somewhere else other than quarterback there. But both, it's a fine pick. But if I have to pick somebody, I'll take that one.
I love that you said you're scared of Scary Terry. Like there was a lot of scares in that sentence. All right, I love Ted McMillan, by the way. I mean, you're not just because you're my co-host. Steve.
Okay, now when I make this pick, I'm starting to feel like people are going to look at it and be like, "Man, this team would have been awesome 2 years ago." But I'm just going to go ahead and do it and take Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna say that he's got one more good year in him. He's got that big playability. Yeah, I don't trust their offense, or I don't trust their defense. So I think they're going to be throwing the ball. So yeah, I'll roll with him. And yeah, look at that. Seriously, the past 5 picks, those are all guys who would have been first and second round picks last year because they were so good 2 years before. But let's see. Then for the pick that I like the least from last round, I'll go with Baker Mayfield. I just think he's within the same group as a lot of guys. Like I'd put him right in there with Bo Nix, with Mahomes, waiting, and Dak or Kyler Murray and feel just as good about them as Baker. So that's why I say it.
Cool. And Yvette. It's your time to shine, and to tell somebody else's bad pick. Seeing that
well, I feel like everyone's going to be apologizing later, and I hope I'm definitely going to replay this back because JSN. I stand by my pick of JSN. I really do. I sometimes, I know quarterbacks it's a big deal, but sometimes it doesn't matter. He's still going to get the volume, and I think that's the person there. But I know that's not. I'm here not to defend my pick. I'm here to pick my destiny, which it's my daughter's here, so I can't stay it too long. She has to do her skincare routine. She's 6, you guys. She has to do her skincare routine before she goes to bed. But we are going to go with the rookie, right? Say it, Hampton. I'm going to take Hampton, you know why? Because I think fantasy football is about making risks and taking risks, and he has a high ceiling, and I feel comfortable taking him right where I'm at.
Okay. Well, if we could get one more pick from you, that'd be great, and then you can bow. But I'll do here. The 7th round theme is going to be one guy that you won't get to take today because he's a later round guy that you absolutely love and are targeting in all your drafts. So basically, just a late round guy. So go ahead.
She's got to bash someone's pick first of all.
Okay. Yeah. Pick your pick first, and then go ahead.
Okay, so I feel really happy to say this pick because this is a guy that year after year I think he's done, and year after year he's not, and and he'll probably be done this year because I'm taking him, and that's Mike Evans. Yeah.
All right, Mike Evans there, and then a sleeper that you like.
A sleeper that I probably won't be able to get into the later rounds. Oh, let me think about this. What round past round 7?
Yes, just a later round person. Like there's a person that you think is going to have a better year than consensus. So kind of like a deep sleeper.
A deep sleeper. Oh shit.
That's all right.
Okay, I got one. What about Cedric Tillman? I think that Cedric Tillman for the Cleveland Browns could be a good flex player and someone that I would take in the later rounds. I think he showed a little bit of. I know we have a crazy quarterback situation in Cleveland. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Talk about a crazy quarterback situation. But I learned from Matt Harmon about the Planker receiver, and I think that's Cedric Tillman. So I feel like that's a good one for a late round.
Awesome. Well, Yvette, I know you got to go. I appreciate you sticking with us this
Thank you
this
guys.
long.
I'm just so draft with you guys. Like,
all right, yeah, we're gonna do one more round. So if you could end that 8th round, that'd be awesome. When you see it coming up. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Have a good night. All right. And now we are on Steve.
Let me press the leave the studio.
Okay. I'm going to go to, since I missed out on Drake London before, I'm going to go with a different Jim Coventry favorite this year, and that's DJ Moore. Last year, he had the volume. He had 140 targets, just didn't do much with them. And I think that now that the Bears have a better offensive line, they bring in Ben Johnson to call the plays. I think he'll actually be able to turn
Woody
that.
Johnson, by the way. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
And there are people listening that are going to believe you too.
Yeah, I know. That's the power of the internet. And a sleeper that you got. Sorry for cutting off your DJ Moore.
No problem. The past couple of years, I've been looking for the guy who's on a team that you don't think is going to be very good, but you just figure they've got to throw the ball to somebody. And it worked really well for me a couple of years ago when I took Nico Collins in like every league, and he ended up, having his breakout season. Last year, it was Cortland Sutton for me. This year, I'm looking at Michael Pittman. I think nobody's taking any of the Colts receivers early enough. I mean, you could get Josh Downs and Pittman outside the top 100, and I think Pittman has put up the numbers in the past, and they're going to have to throw it to somebody, so I'll throw him out there.
Real interesting note on that. Pittman and Downs numbers about it. Downs' over-under was only 650.5, and Pittman's was 750.5. The opening lines on DraftKings. I thought that was a little weird and alarming, but because I'm a Downs guy myself, but it changed my perspective on him a little bit, slowed me down. Ryan, you're up. You there, Ryan? Oh, is he gone? Ryan? Oh, no.
Nope, I'm here. Sorry about that. I'm going to take the last guy, and what I see as the last guy in a tier here, Devontae Adams. I really want a piece of the Rams offense. I think he, he's going to be the second option, but he has contingent upside with, Puka's potential injuries. And I just, I think he's going to smash this year. So I'm really happy to take him here. As far as my late round sleeper, I think that in this format, especially, it's going to be important to find some of these like running back rooms that are somewhat ambiguous, sort that out late. And I'm going to give away one of my tips here, but I'm going to try to take Brashard Smith in a lot of these leagues towards the end, or maybe even earlier than expected, because that's one you really only have to overcome Pacheco and I guess the corpse of Kareem Hunt to get some carries. And, who's to say he couldn't lead the backfield by the end of the season. So I think he's a good late round dart throw, and you can get him right now in like the 18th round of best ball drafts.
One of my favorites. Jeremy, go ahead. I meant Brashard Smith, not you, Jeremy, but still you are one of my favorites. But I just wanted to clarify my thing there.
That hurt a little. Made it through 4 picks without getting sniped, so that was cool. I will take DK Metcalf here. I'm going to continue to try to find teams wide receiver ones. I know it's not a high volume passing offense in Pittsburgh, but Aaron Rodgers managed to feed Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson at times last year, and Pittsburgh is not worse than New York. So I will go with that. I'm going to ride it out here, looking kind of for those guys looking for the volume. As far as that goes, and then I totally forgot what the question was. So please, as I was speaking,
late round sleep.
Oh yeah. I do like Josh Downs. I will say that. But I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. I don't know if it's late enough. But I believe in Cam Ward. I believe on what they're building in Tennessee, and they really didn't. I know there's some hype for like A.O. Manor and Shimmery Dyke. Like there's some love there. Maybe Treylon Burks rekindles something. God knows what. But that Tennessee Titans receiver core is very weak. It's basically Calvin Ridley, and that's it. Another guy that you'll probably be able to get a little bit later ish middle tier here. That could really be a potential wide receiver 1 because Cam Ward will sling the football and he will not care. So I think that's a good opportunity there to find some hidden value in the middle of your draft.
Awesome. And Nick.
All right, I'm going to roll Joe Mixon. I think as long as he's the starter there, he should be looking at a solid load. Houston offense, I'm pretty big on decent value here when you're looking at the running backs. And then my favorite sleeper would be Trey Harris. I think especially in best ball, he's just a big play ready to happen. I like the Chargers offense this year, and he's someone I'm taking a lot of, specifically in best ball.
Man, I don't know if you're going to get the Bucky Irving thing on me there with Trey Harris. I have like so little, but now I will hear your voice in the background anytime I skip over him, which is a lot, but I'm interested in talking to you more about that. Al, you're up.
I just want to start off by saying that I now fully agree with Pope and Ryan because nobody's taking quarterbacks. So Bo Nick was an objectively not good pick at that point. Totally agree. No hard feelings. I'm going to go with Ken Walker and just keep shooting for RB upside here. I think if you hit on one of these guys, you can just win. When you're playing in tournaments like this is kind of the build that I'm going to go for, which is high upside stability here. And then my late round sleeper, especially in formats like this, I'm going to have some Brenton Strange sprinkled at the bottom of my benches. I do think if they don't want to play Hunter all the time on offense, they will use the tight end pretty frequently. We know Cohen used Kate Otten a good bunch in Tampa. So I think Brenton Strange is a solid sleeper this year.
Like that a lot. Stacy.
I don't know what is it with me and like taking running backs that I just find distasteful, honestly, but here we are. James Conner, everybody. That's what I'm going with. Just another volume here. And I know Trey Benson is like lurking in the background there. But James Conner just every year continues to produce and when we just don't think that he will. So I'm going to go ahead and take him 7th round. Just because of the scoring format, I think it's a good spot for him. I'm going to go deep sleeper for you, like almost the end of your draft. You can get this guy for free. And that's going to be Demario Douglas. I cannot stop with Demario Douglas. I have been a fan since he was a rookie and I don't care. Can't stop, won't stop. He's got a great connection with Drake May. They've done a complete overhaul with that offense now. I've never been a huge Josh McDaniels fan, but, he does run a good offense, not so great of a head coach, but he does know what he's doing with the offense. So I feel pretty good about him. He had 17% target share last year. I know Diggs is there, but I don't see anybody else in that offense supplanting him as the wide receiver 1. Like I know Hunter Henry's there, but he's a tight end. So you can get Demario Douglas in like the 17th round right now.
Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to take Travion Henderson here. Upside running back. I think that's going to be the trend with the way I'm drafting this right now is get all the running backs and hope they all catch the ball. I just want to make it clear, I am not happy that Nick's getting credit for both Bucky Irving and now Trey Harris. I think that's ridiculous. Those are my guys. Trey Harris, by the way, Louie, you need to be drafting more Trey Harris. That's the answer to your question. That guy's going to be a star. I'll go super deep for my sleeper, though. I'm going to say Dante Thornton Jr. for the Raiders. He's already working with the ones. Guy's 6'4", 6'5", runs a 4.3 40. There aren't any players who do that ever, like Randy Moss. So if that guy sees the field and has anything and can produce anywhere near what his measurables say he can, he's going to be a star. So that's my deep sleeper for this year.
Well, that's awesome. I said that I would cut this at 90 minutes. I thought we might get through 8 rounds, 7 rounds. Guys, feel free to continue to mock. You got the mocks open if you'd like to. I feel like you'll fall asleep on that. But we will share that 7 rounds Obviously, the fun in this format is going to really come here in these next 7 rounds. Where people will be. The quarter you guys didn't. We'll pull this up here real quick. We'll one more time. You guys picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks in the first 7 rounds. I think we're going to see a lot of that. And I think even a couple people today, a couple of you mentioned, oh, maybe I, didn't want to do that, or maybe I shouldn't have done that. Sean, you went Chris Godwin there just to prove a point. You wanted us to know that you like Godwin there. Do you want to? I mean, I'll give you the floor if you want to explain that, or was that just a throw out pick? You want to throw everybody off for Saturday?
No, I have Baker, and I think Godwin was the number 2 receiver in fantasy before he got hurt last year. Decent chance he's healthy right away, so I'm ready to roll with that for sure.
Yeah,
volume is king.
Really interesting builds here already. I like that Yvette didn't pick any quarterbacks. Like either did Stacy.
You can't make me.
Well, both didn't Sean and Nick say this? Like you weren't planning on getting one today. I think I'm going into Saturday. I'll spoiler alert. I do think I'm going to go into Saturday, not expecting to draft a quarterback, and we'll see kind of how the boards shake out. But
that is until he sees Kenny Pickett available, and he's not going to be able to contain himself.
I think you should take Kenny Pickett. I think you should in the first round.
At one point, I might be taking Kenny Pickett. Listen, hot takes are my thing, and I'm right 20% of the time. So I will do that. Guys, thank you so much all for joining us. We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a good time with us. And we will be back on next week talking about the event Saturday. Our live Buffalo event is going to be at Fatty Beer in the Wurlitzer building, Niagara Falls Boulevard. Look it up, 1 to 5, Saturday the 28th. If you guys, if anybody locally that's listening wants to come out, check us out. There's going to be awesome raffles. There's going to be 4 live drafts. A lot of the WGR guys are going to be there. Mike Shope, Joe DiBiase. Or actually, Joe DiBiase won't be there this year. But whatever. There's going to be a bunch of guys there here locally. Sean, you'll be with us. Nick, Brian, Al, and Jeremy all with us on Saturday. So it should be a lot of fun there. I'm this Wednesday the 25th, at Helium Comedy Club, performing in Buffalo's Funniest Comic contest. If any local people want to come support me, and of course vote that I'm the funniest, because if you don't, I don't want you there. I think that is it for Louie G, for my co-host Ryan Mura. All of you guys, thanks for joining us, and good luck to everybody in their Scott Fish Bowl drafts this next few weeks. Have a great night.